Hello, hello, shadow players. Uh, it has long nights. I just got done playing D&D, so bear with me. I've been standing for the last 3 hours, but I'm just glad I'm here and I just checking out. Shit, that was my big thing is, like planning to do this and then I don't go through with it. Because I do get really nervous about reading aloud. But I really, really want to do this, really want to stay in this mode of streaming nightly and doing what I set out to do. So, yeah. Um, I have the music low right now. I'm going to turn it off when I start reading. But, I'm dropping everything. It's been a long night. So we are reading Colston'S Phantom. Probably really hard to see, but this book is out. It is expensive at the moment, which really fucking sucks. I am working to get it cheaper, and I will be letting you guys know when that happens. But I'm waiting for something to happen before I do that. So I'm gonna take the cover off so I can hold the book a bit better. See what the book looks like without the cover. Just a nice foil name with a navy blue background. That's why it's so expensive, because I went for the higher end look of the book. So, because it's only one thing I wanted to see this book in hardcover, so I did it. And I'm still learning the ways of the game when it comes to self-publishing, so it's hit and miss on learning stuff, but I'm getting there. It'll just take me a while. But we're going to turn this off because I don't want to fight with any sort of music whatsoever. I'm gonna take these off so I don't keep snagging it on the fucking cup holder and just pulling it out. But yeah, I have read a few chapters on stream. I think they're intermixed in other live streams. I think I have read the end chapter. And I've read bits and pieces of it. But when it comes to reading full chapters, even though yes, I wrote it, reading is still something that is very difficult for me to do, but I love it. I love it, and I want people to want to read this story. And so I figured, why not read full chapters to get people hopefully excited? That's all I can hope for. And also, because starting out this chapter, there is a wall of text. That's probably really hard to see, but that there's a wall of text, and what it says is, mean to an end, to satiate the demon, to silence the seething storm within. And it just repeats it over and over again. You'll find hidden Easter eggs throughout the book to heighten the narration. That's one thing that I like to do. I like to take just stuff that you don't normally see and put into my books, like with the wall of text that just kind of have no place, but they do at the very end. So it's also very hard to read because I don't have very good backlighting. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn this be over my shoulder so I can properly see the book, so I can kind of hold it up straight and not be looking down. I'm still standing in front of it, but maybe I need to turn it up. Kind of helter skelterly thrown together. It's a bit. D&D was worth it, so. Still very hard to see. I'll doing my best. Chapter 2, Second Nightmare. Jordan had done so much over the years to help Colston and Kyra. She needs him, but hesitation grips her fingers as she dials his number, weighed down by the heaviness she noticed in him during his last visit. Jordan answered the phone with a yawn. Kyra? She glanced at the clock at the oven. 5:15 a.m. Her face flashing with embarrassment. JD, I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention to the time. It's fine. Was it another nightmare? Jordan asked. Shame-filled Kyra. Whatever she called it about Colson and something she needs help with. Jordan. She hesitates, unsure whether to let him go without revealing the truth, or to apologize for only contacting him when she is struggling. Should she mention what Colson wants to do and ask for his help one last time? Or she ultimately decide on the latter. Can you be here tomorrow? I can be there by 11 in the morning. Will that be okay? What happened? Jordan asked, not in a hurry to get off the phone. It's hard to see the text. That's fine. It was another nightmare. Even without his latest demand, there's something different. I feel like I'm losing him. There's a long pause from Jordan before a sigh. The last couple of times I have worked with Colson, he's been fighting, doing his best to hide his internal struggle. I've noticed a change. I didn't know how to bring it up. It's hard to speak about the difficult situation. He paused again. Kyra heard the phone shift from his mouth for a moment. What is he asking? Jordan's voice is thick with emotion. He wants to go back to the house, she said in a low, worried tone. Jordan, I saw the struggle in his eyes and felt his body tremble. She breaks after saying this. Kyra, please, for the sake of all of us, you need to build a bigger support system. I know Colson doesn't want the true nature of his situation to get out, but he stopped, realizing he is trying to overstep Colson's wishes. Colson has been adamant about keeping the details of his kidnapping private. Yet Colson must understand the impact it had on Kyra and him. What about therapy? Again, that feeling like overstepping. Kyra interrupts his thought. It only gets worse during times like these. They're becoming more frequent. But other than that, everything is perfectly fine. Kyra says, trying to convince herself of the facade. Everything is not fine. Coulson is dealing with something that is wearing him down. Honestly, I don't think going back to the house will do him any good. Jordan says his voice is defensive. Kyra, unfazed by the tone, responds, that's why I told him that if he that's what I told them. So I set a condition. You and I have to go with him. Jordan falls silent for a moment. Is Coulson around? She's sleeping. I'll start making my way to you soon. Hang in there, Kyra. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, JD. Thank you. Kyra put the phone down and rests her forehead on her arm. Coulson's restful sleep transformed into a vivid nightmare. Okay. The text is a little bit darker now, so I can see it. Coulson is walking along a warm, inviting path surrounded by lush trees, made even more lovelier by the sun ray filtering through and creating beautiful patterns. He is humming along to a tune in his head, when suddenly the world morphs and contorts. The warmth was swept away on the frigid breeze. The path that bent and curled among the trees straightened and crumbled. The flowers and lush grass withered and died, lining the uneven paths, leading the way to the house, left to face the elements alone. The melody in his head vanished, swallowed by the fog of fear and a hint of a sweet odor. He felt himself starting to lose balance, and in an attempt to steady himself, quickly realized his wrist and ankle were bound with duct tape. But he didn't fall. A hand gripped him painfully into his bare biceps. Coulson hissed in pain. You are fat enough, you are fine. The man said, now walk. The slow shuffle, like a man being led to the gallows, was the most spirit-breaking walk. Coulson began to wonder if, at this point, if this house was going to be his grave. Coulson breathed. Let go of your fear. I am here to help you. The voice is calm and sweet. Upon reaching the threshold of the house, Coulson finally managed to process what was said and formulate a response through fear and dizziness. Help me with what? His voice shook. He is in total disbelief that this is happening to him. He is a cover artist with a thicker body build. This has to be a joke, a way to promote Coulson creepy covers. Yes, there's a team behind this, creating a realistic scenario, and to heighten the fear, he was left out of the plan. He was halted, and his captor stood in front of him. The hand gripping his bicep pinched his skin. The face of the man, obscured by a full-face mask, reflected Coulson's image. The other hand reached up and removed the mask, revealing a young, gentle, caring face, slightly rough around the edges, with sunken dark eyes. Those eyes born to Coulson, filled with hope, care, and love. I answer your call. You're struggling with fear of failing. You're beautiful, yet you are lost. And that is what scared you. The thought of being lost forever. I can be your defender against the overwhelming sense. His voice is low and alluring, but the growing insanity in his eyes betrayed him with every word he spoke. Coulson instinctively pulled away from the intensity, The man's face twisted in the pain of betrayal before smoothing over again. He took a deep breath and moved back to Colston's left side. Maybe a good night's rest will help you realize that. Get moving. He lifted Colston's bicep. Colston shuffled forward and into the house. The air inside was stale and musty. The wooden floorboard were dusty, and there were runny jugs lining the walls, creating an uncomfortable shape in the fading light. She was led straight down a short, narrow hallway. There, that creaked loudly as they entered. There was one door at the end to the right. Yeah. The man opened the door to a run-down bathroom, dragged Colson inside, and sat him on the toilet. From his back pocket, he pulled out a flashlight and placed it on the counter, aiming the beam between them. Then he knelt before Colson and reached toward his face. Colson instinctively pulled away, watching as rage and betrayal flash across the man's face. He saw the hand that was meant to caress his face flex, then unflex, then relax. Colson wondered if he would be struck. "I am here to save you," the man screamed. The intensity of the voice rattled Colson as the echoes faded. He stared, quickly realizing that this was no joke. This was a nightmare come true. The man dropped his hand and glared at Colson. "This room is just for a little while." The voice was strained. "What?" Colson questioned, dazed and confused, his heart beating fast. "I have a bedroom set up for you, until I can trust you that you won't run. This is your home." Colson felt a pang of terror. The way he said home had forever stripped all the warmth and comfort from that word. "Once you slip off your panic and understand that this is for your own good, conditions will improve." The man eyed Colson as he reached back into with his left hand. When he brought it back into view, he was holding a straight back knife. Colson's mind swirled with alarm and panic, deepening the dizziness. The man released Colson's wrists and ankles, all the while his eyes were daring him to make a move. Colson resisted the urge to shove the man and run. The odds were stacked against him. He had no idea where he was, and the fear coursing through him, mixing with the remnant of the drug in his system. He couldn't trust his body and mind to work together, and he dreaded what would happen if he were caught. In hindsight, he should have just ran. The captor knelt there with his hand resting on top of Colson's wrist, seemingly watching him contemplate his position. A smirk appeared on the man's lips, making Colson's skin crawl. "I knew you'd come around," he said. His voice was sickening, sweet, and passionate. "Now sleep. I need to edit the video." She stood up. Colson looked up questioningly. "What?" Oh yes, everybody will know that you've been kidnapped. Now sleep. Tomorrow we'll discuss the terms of your possible release." The smile on his face made Colson retreat as far back as he could, his skin crawling with danger. The man left the bathroom with the flashlight, leaving Colson in complete darkness. He shook in fear as the second deadbolt locked him in. At the sound of a deadbolt locking him in, he thought to himself, "Tomorrow, at first light, I run." Kyra had drifted off into a light doze at the counter. Coulson is tossing and turning, softly moaning in bed. He is sweating. Ah, fuck. I need to get better lighting. This sucks. And also reading strain to my voice. It sucks. The cold porcelain side of the tub served as an uncomfortable bed. He could hear the wind whistling and felt intermediate drift of cold flowing over the edge, caressing his poorly dressed body. Colston was prone to overheating even in winter, but what he was experiencing now was unsafe. And he needed to escape. If this treatment continued, with the nights growing colder and October wore on, he dreaded to think of the consequences. He crawled out of the tub slowly got to his feet. He was sore, but his balance was intact, and the fog induced by the drug had cleared from his mind. Though the fog of fear remained, that fear fueled his desire to devise the plan of escape. There was not much to see in the dark, which made the faint outline of the door stand out more. He was thinking, but no good idea came to him. He could attempt to bash into the door, but he didn't know how sturdy it was. He was a big guy and fueled by panic and fear. He could vaguely recall the state of the house. Right now was not the time for guesswork. Then the sound of the generator kicked on, startling him out of his mind to listen. The generator drowned out most other sounds. He swore he heard the ding of a microwave. If he could trust himself, he prayed that it was the faint sound of indeed a microwave. He made a plan and positioned himself so when the door was open, he'd be behind it. Several minutes later, the generator fell silent, and seconds later he could hear hollow footsteps approaching. Colston's heart pounded. Colston's heart pounded with each step. He heard the echo. He heard the loud creak of the wood. He did his best to control his breathing. The aroma of food wafted under the door, reminding him that he hadn't eaten since lunchtime yesterday. He tried to ignore the terrible rumbling in his gut. "Colston, you awake? I have breakfast for you," the man called sweetly through the door. Colston held his hand to the left side of his face and leaned as far away from the door as he could and let out an uncomfortable groan. After the groan, Colston waited with bated breath, hoping to hear the sound of the deadbolt unlocking. The deadbolt was unlocked and the door creaked open. The door swung ajar. "I am sorry about the accommodation, but the rest was drowned out by screaming," and Colston rammed the door full force into the man before pulling it back open and stepping out. Steam rose from the food that now covered the man's face and chest. Colston darted past the man and he collapsed against the wall, screaming and cursing. He barreled through the rotting front door, nearly losing his balance, but managed to keep upright. He had to reach the van, only allowing a brief second to worry that the keys might not be inside. Nevertheless, he ran around the front. But his left foot landed in the soft patch of dirt. Suddenly he heard the sound of a motor revving from beneath the van. A rope looped around his ankle, tightened and pulled until it pressed against the tire. Coulson fell, screaming in surprise and pain. His left hand reached out, landing in front of the driver's side. The driver's side tire in another soft patch. He watched as another rope sprang free of the light covering of dirt, secured itself around his wrist, and painfully wrenched it against the tire. He was trapped, and his cries grew loud with fear and desperation. His pleas for help were abruptly silenced when the captor covered their mouth with duct tape. The man moved back to the front of the van, moved back out from under the van, and sat heavily on the ground. He slammed the roll of duct tape beside him, looking disappointedly at Coulson, whose tears fell as he simply stared. Why? His voice was low, struggling for control. A year of work, Coulson. A year of fucking work. His voice echoed. Coulson lay there helplessly. His captor maneuvered onto his belly and wormed his way under the van until he was inches from Coulson's face. There is nothing to be afraid of. I understand you are scared, but a hand caressed Coulson's face, and a satisfied smile lit the man's face. I really, really don't want to hurt you. I want to help you. Should you test my patience, there will be hell to pay. He got to his knees, hunched low to remain under the van, and said, I hate seeing you like this, but I can't trust you. Coulson was taken by surprise by the sudden and solid hit to his solar plexus. Coulson is in a ball in the center of the bed, mouth open in a silent, breathless scream. Sweat, drool, and tears mixed on the sheet. His body trembled in pain as the nightmare keeps steady. Keeps a steady hold on his mind. His vision faded for a moment, and he gasped for breath through the tape. The captor worked with uncanny speed to free him from the traps. Coulson's wrists were quickly taped together, and he was dragged along the ground, his left side scraping painfully along as he pulled out from under the van. Please stop, he screamed into the tape. Coulson was hauled to his feet as if he weighed nothing. Tape comes off one for his side, but only from your mouth. The voice was sly and full of warnings. Coulson would march back up the path and into the house, and with every step, his panic and worry grew. Had he just blown his only chance for escape? Shame welled up inside him, and tears fell. The front door hung awkwardly on the hinges. Instead of going straight to the bathroom, his captor steered him to the left down a hallway lined with moving boxes and random junk. The hallway bent to the left into an awkward three-way intersection. To the left, Coulson was able to see a dirty kitchen with piled of dirty dishes and dirt on the floor. Before he could see what was on his right, he was led through the doorway ahead, which opened into a makeshift living room. A chair sat in the center of the room. Coulson was led to it and seated. Stay, the captor ordered as if speaking to a dog. Coulson looked away ashamed, but his eyes were drawn to something just inside the room to his right. He felt his ankle being tied to the leg of the chair. A long, narrow room stretched out from beyond the sight. and from the doorway with a camera on the tripod pointed into the room. A camera? For what? He wondered. He felt the tight rope secure his left ankle to the chair leg. His captor sighed and sat back on his heels, noticing Coulson looking off to the right. You understand now, his captor said, carefully removing the tape from Coulson's mouth, pulling several hairs from his beard and mustache. Coulson looked back into the man's sparkling blue eyes filled with so much hope. When Coulson shook his head, he knew to expect some sort of backlash. The sparkle dimmed slightly, and the man placed his hand on Coulson's taped wrist and squeezed. When Coulson winced, he seemed to note the pain and removed his hand. Yeah. I need you to see, Coulson. You are suffering. He spoke with compassion, but Coulson could hear the anger lurking beneath the kind facade. Coulson understood every time he opened his mouth to ask a question, he would turn it into a minefield. What makes you think I'm struggling? His voice was tired and low. The man recoiled as if Coulson had just slapped him. Coulson, he said, kneeling uncomfortably close. It's in your videos, in your voice. You lack true belief in yourself. You are only beautiful when you can be stunning. The blue from their eyes faded into dark orbs holding hellfire that seemed to burn into Coulson's soul. A small voice spoke to Coulson's heart. This man is so sincere that he didn't recognize his own insanity. Be careful. Coulson nodded in agreement, with the only thing that made sense in this moment. The man interpreted Coulson's nod as agreement. His eyes brightened to the vivid blue. Good, Coulson. The sheer childlike happiness in his voice made Coulson feel sick. An eager hand patted his bound wrist, and now the voice beaming with confidence and poise. Your voice is the only one worth my unwavering devotion. Your unwillingness and enthusiasm for acting and singing, all the while, all unimpeded by the lack of reception for your efforts, is surely motivating. But he stood up and began to pace. Coulson listened to a doting and inspired fan. Yet his wrists were bound and his ankle tied to the leg of a chair. Combined with the man's previous dangerous behavior, he firmly gripped that he wouldn't fight for his life. Coulson, my dearest Coulson, the struggle has surfaced, and I must draw attention to it because it is drowning you. He crouched, placed his hand on Coulson's thighs. American Idiot Medley highlighted the terror of your subconscious with begging to express. The acting was too authentic to be a mere performance. His eyes flashed, daring Coulson to argue the truth. He stood, keeping the gaze locked with Coulson's. You wanted to seek help, but weren't sure how to go about it. You are convinced that you are fine, when in truth you are just surviving, waiting for the breakthrough. I am the one to guide you. Coulson stared at him, his heart ignited by the words. Fear transformed into defiance as he protected his voice. You do realize I was performing to a song. That is my conviction to my damn art. Coulson dared to thrust his brown hands toward his captor. The man reacted by grabbing a hold of Coulson just above the tape. Colson watched as the bright, hopeful blue of the man's eyes shift to dark, hateful spears. No, he roared. Colson was yanked into the air and spun around. When he would release, he flew a short distance and crashed into the wall. The chair would crush between the wall and Colson's back. He let out a yelp and he hit the ground, landing heavily on his left shoulder with a sickening crunch and a jolt of pain. A groan escaped his lips and he rolled onto his back. It is false conviction, his captor screamed, advancing on Colson until he stood over him, feet on either side, grabbing him by the bound wrist, pulling Colson's fist against his chest, lifting Colson back off the ground. In the process, with one hand poking at his bare chest with the other. While poking at his bare chest with the other. Your mind had tricked you. I only did as you asked, to save you. And this is how you thank me? Your heart is struggling against your mind, setting you up to fail. You need saving. You can't deny that when you were singing Died to the Fire, you weren't contemplating ending at all, because the struggle was becoming too great. You were singing hell upon your doorstep when I claimed you. I am your blessing in disguise and your hell. He let Colson drop to the floor and stepped away, running his hand down his face in exasperation. Colson lay among the splinters, his left shoulder surely dislocated. He was too stunned by the declaration to speak, to cry, or to move, and terror firmly gripped around his soul. He needed to escape. He needed to escape quickly. This man was insane and would no doubt kill him. Colson, you need to wise up. The man crouched. People know that you are kidnapped. Colson's heart jumped in extreme fear, and his captor smirked. But you and they have known that. The clues have been there. Colson's eyes widened. You've been hijacking my videos? For the past 2.5 months, Colson has been trying to figure out who had been adding bizarre or creepy elements to the end of the videos. Despite working with a support team from the collective creative entertainment to put an end to it, their efforts were ultimately in vain. The situation had worsened and downright unsettling. However, he couldn't deny the buzz it generated for October and the creepy covers. Seeing the other get excited was contagious and sparked his own enthusiasm. His captor extended his arms. The blue in his eyes flickered for a moment before fading again. Colson creepy covers are going to be a spectacle you are singing for your life. Silence enveloped them as their eyes locked. Colson was too overcome by fear to speak, while he captor waited for response and approval. Overcome with emotion, Colson cried, "Please stop this. You can be my teacher, my editor. Just let me go." The man lunged forward, gripping Colson's vest tightly by the neck. The urge to choke Colson was evident in his entire demeanor. Bribery, the fastest way to piss me off, he spat through clenched teeth. He yanked the fabric to the side and pressed it against Colson's throat. "You bribing me is not going to save you from yourself. What do you want?" And that is chapter 2. I need to find a better way to read. That's definitely my voice strains and I can hear it. I don't know how to change that. Uh, I think it's because it's the fact I'm nervous and trying to get it over, which is something I don't want to do. I truly enjoy reading. I do. But I'm always just nervous. It's just nerves that get to me. Hopefully, in 2 weeks, because I'll do this again, I'll read another chapter. Hopefully, I can get practicing somehow and do it better. But that was chapter 2. I should have prefaced this before, but this book is not kid friendly. It deals with heavy themes. Of course, kidnapping. Deal with heavy themes. So I should have done that in the beginning, but too late now. Uh, but yeah, so that was night 9. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with games. We'll be settling back down in the game. So I'm gonna go and because I have an early appointment in the morning. So thank you, and I hope that was clear enough. I don't think it was. I could have done a lot better. I'm so sorry. I'll try my hard to do better next time. But that can be it for me for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 8:30. All right. Good night, guys. Let's see if I can. I'll see you.